Hello, I am Brandon Phelps, theater educator at Adams City High School, and we're going to talk a little bit about the IDEA and the IEP process. So there's a few things that you want to be aware of as a parent when you're going into these IEPs and what rights you have under IDEA as well. So one of the first things for parent and student involvement, under IDEA, like, parents have complete rights to be present and to have a say in their child's education and be there in the IEP meetings during a lot of the process with evaluation and deciding any eligibility. You get to be present the whole time. You get a say in what's going on. And if you don't like some of the outcomes, you have some options as well that we'll get into in a little bit. In terms of the student is allowed to be there. And the student is actually encouraged to be there at a later period when they're going into their transition, at a later period in their adulthood. So what that means is it's prepping them for adulthood. So it's very important for them to start being active in their IEP as well, so they have a better understanding of the process, of the things that work best for them, what don't work so well for them, and they have a say too as well that way within their education. So determining IEP is a little bit of a process. So it starts with a referral, and referrals can happen between the parent or legal guardian or through an educator or professional at the school. So if the parent is noticing there might be some kind of disability present, something seems an issue, then what the parent can do is they can bring this to the school, the school district, professionals at the school, and they can request an evaluation for possible disability to see if they're eligible for special education. So what can happen on the teacher's end, if the teacher notices this, or another professional at the school, what they can do is they can bring that to their school, yes, but first you also want to bring it and address it to the parents. You want to make sure that you're being forthcoming with the parent, you're keeping them in the loop, and you ask them first. You need their consent before anything happens, in this process. So it's important to record what you're seeing, give detail, and discuss it with the parent and then the school as well to see if you can move forward. This referral can be written or verbal, and you want to make sure once this does get approved that it's done in a timely manner. So this can be taken care of swift and efficiently. So once we get into the evaluation process, what's going to happen is you're going to have a lot of professionals within the school that specialize in this area, as well as general educators, and the parents involved too, and you're going to evaluate them around these potential disabilities. And once you start assessing the evaluation and getting the evaluation completed, you'll start to look at the results. Now, if the parent doesn't like what they see in terms of the results, they don't agree, they think something else is still off, they can bring in an individual person. I believe it's independent educational evaluation. They can bring that in, and the school has to pay for it if that's what they want, like if that's what the parent wants. So that's a great benefit. Now, once the evaluation is completed and we're assessing all the data, that's when the eligibility happens. And once again, you're going to bring in a bunch of qualified professionals in a group and the parent as well, and you're going to go through the evaluation results, and you're going to decide if the student has any eligibility for special education or any related type of services within the IDEA, the law of IDEA. So if, again, the parents don't seem to agree, they think something's off still, they have an opportunity to request a hearing to discuss this, to discuss the decision around the eligibility. So that could, once again, that helps the parents feel confident throughout this entire process that they have a say in their child's education. They're there every step of the way with us, the educational professionals. Now, in the actual IEP, when we're planning this excuse me, this IEP, what we're going to do here is we're going to make sure that all the IEP components are present, that we adhere to them. So there are some musts that should be in the IEP to make sure the child's getting the best educational experience possible and it's benefiting them. That's benefiting their individual experiences and their individuality, what they need. So some things that must be present is their present levels in academic achievements and their functional performance, so we can see how they're doing. Annual goals, we need to set annual goals and check in with that yearly. There'll be an annual review, so it's important to have those goals established so we can assess them at a later time. But we also want to make sure we're assessing benchmarks, any short-term objectives, so we can monitor their progress throughout on a daily, weekly basis, but absolutely as well on a quarterly basis. We want to monitor the progress, And this should be very measurable. This should be measurable, so when we're reporting the progress and determining it and describing it, that we're very aware of what is working, what needs to be worked on, and what is going to be worked on further as we keep developing. So we have those elements in place, but we also need to make sure we have a special education services statement stating what the disability is, what the needs are, so that is there for the child and the parent. It's being advocated for, that legally it needs to be advocated for and provided for. And in any other related services, we want to make sure we're monitoring them as well. Anything else that's needed, whether that's therapy, behavioral instruction, additional communication instruction, whether it's written or verbal. As well, next, we need supplementary aids, services. This could be accommodations, things to help the child, and that includes program modifications for us, the school professionals, so we can modify things as needed for that specific child to make sure we're providing what works best for them and for their learning. And there's a few other things as well, like the extent of non-participation explanation, accommodations and assessments. We mentioned accommodations, but in assessing as well, when we're assessing them, we want to make sure there's needed accommodations, whatever's needed. And service delivery, transition planning, transitioning into adulthood, and what that looks like, and age of majority statement as well. So these things must be present within the IEP at all times, and we must adhere to that legally for the child. I hope this helps, and let me know if you have any further questions, and I look forward to working with you and your child. Thank you so much. Have a great day.